Okay, so you might have seen me talking a little bit about this game called Yu Yu Hakusho Final for the Super Nintendo. The full title is Yu Yu Hakusho Final Makai Saikyo Retsuden, for anyone who's wondering. Um, I've talked in the past about how it's probably my favorite SNES fighting game, and there are still a lot of things that I really like about it. It's just got like a really good baseline amount of like movement options, fun dashes, and there's a decent amount of strong tools distributed throughout the cast. Just a really fun, simple SNES style fighting game. But there's one really big thing about it, and it's really important for how the game is played, and it's the stun mechanics. So you can see that purple bar next to Majin Yusuke's bar, life bar is filling up, and that signifies his stun. And at a base level, there are a lot of combos which cause guaranteed stuns, like that one. And that's already kind of pretty busted, but there are a few scruples to the stun system that keep it in check to some degree or another. The first is that... What's the best way to do this? So the first is that if you hit someone after they've been knocked down from a stun, their stun meter is immediately emptied. And this is an issue because of the second scruple, which is... This game has air techs. So if you are knocked down by anything that isn't a throw, you can air tech by pressing 6-4. And you can do this at any point while you're in your knockdown animation. And you generally want to do it as early as possible because you can be hit while you're in your knockdown animation otherwise. So there's this kind of dynamic where the stun combos are really strong, but there's at least a little bit of a situational element to it because you don't want to accidentally, I guess you could say, overstun your opponent. So you don't want to do that because they can just air tech out and then you have to play the video game with them again. But I recently found out that it gets worse to the point where I think the game is basically completely unplayable. And it has everything to do with a universal special move that every character can perform by pressing 6-4-6 heavy punch. It immediately stuns. I probably don't need to go into too much depth about why this is an issue. I don't screw it up, but... And so on. Now, this is already really bad on its own, because it just means that the game more or less devolves into who gets the first poke into their guaranteed stun move that they all have for some reason. And then they just loop this forever until someone dies. No one's dying because I'm in the life off training mode, but there you go. However, it does get a little bit worse. Because if we take control of Majin Yusuke here, that's his instant stun attack. And it is so slow that nothing he does can combo into it. So there's immediately a distinction between characters who can combo into their stun move and characters who can't. So you basically have a game where only like a certain section of the cast is viable, specifically because they have access to this stupid ass move that they can combo into. This one here is probably the best one. So Who wants to teach me how to do SNES ROM hacking?